Hey, Squirrel Squad. Was just trying to figure out where we are. My bookmark is here, but I usually highlight the first word, and I failed to do that. So I think we're at the right place. If not, we're not far off. So do I. Still have to fix this. It keeps wanting to jump down. Still got to move that. Sorry. So do I, and my time here will be the happiest that we're still in chapter 5. And this is going to be another part. I just checked. Long. And most useful years of my life. And both girls forgot their gowns and their suppers for a moment to look with grateful, affectionate eyes at the friends who tried to care for their bodies and for souls as well as minds. Now come to a lively party, supping on the stairs, girls like foam at the top, and a substratum of youths below, where the heaviest particles always settle. Emil, who never sat, seems like I read this, if he could climb or perch, adorned the newel post. I did read that. Anyway, Tom, Nat, Demi, and Dan were camped on the steps, eating busily as their ladies were well served, and they had earned a moment's rest, which they enjoyed, with their eyes fixed on the pleasing prospect above them. I'm so sorry the boys are going. It will be dreadfully dull without them. Now they have stopped teasing and are polite. I really enjoy them, said Nan, who felt unusually gracious tonight, as Tom's mishap kept him from annoying her. I think that's where we were. So do I, and Bess was mourning about it today, though as a general thing she doesn't like boys unless they are models of elegance. She's been doing Dan's head and it's not quite finished. I never saw her so interested in any work, and it's very well done. He's so striking and big, he always makes me think of the Dying Gladiator or some of those antique creatures. There's Bess now. Dear child, how sweet she looks tonight, answered Daisy, waving her hands at as the princess went by with Grandpa on her arm. I never thought he would turn out so well. Don't you remember how we used to call him the bad boy and be sure he would become a pirate or something awful because he glared at us and swore sometimes? Now he is the handsomest of all the boys and very entertaining with his stories and plans. I like him very much. He's so big and strong and independent. I'm tired of mollycoddles and bookworms, said Nan in her decided way. Not handsomer than that, cried loyal Daisy, contrasting two faces below, one unusually gay, the other sentimentally sober, even in the act of munching a cake. I like Dan, and I'm glad he's doing well, but he tires me. I'm still a little afraid of him. Quiet people suit me best. Life is a fight, and I like a good soldier. Boys take things too easily, don't see how serious it all is, and go to work in earnest. Look at that absurd Tom wasting his time and making an object of himself just because he can't have what he wants, like a baby crying for the moon. I've no patience for such nonsense, scolded Nan, looking down at jovial Thomas, who was playfully putting macaroons in Emil's shoes and trying to beguile his exile as best he could. Most girls would be touched by such fidelity. I think it's beautiful, said Daisy behind her fan, for other girls sat just below. You are a sentimental goose and not a judge. Nat will be twice the man when he comes back after his trip. I wish Tom was going with them. My idea is that if we girls have any influence, we should use it for the good of these boys and not pamper them up, making slaves of ourselves and tyrants of them. Let them prove what they can do and be before they ask anything of us, and give us a chance to do the same. Then we shall know where we are and shall not make mistakes to mourn over all our lives. Hear, hear, cried Alice Heath, who was a girl after Nan's own heart and had chosen a career like a brave and sensible young woman. Only give us a chance and have patience till we can do our best. Now we are expected to be as wise as men who've had generations of all the help there is, and we scarcely anything. Let us have equal opportunities, and in a few generations, we will see what the judgment is. I like justice, and we get very little of it. Still shouting the battle cry of freedom? Asked Demi, peering through the banisters at this moment. Up with your flag! I'll stand by and lend a hand if you want it. With you and Nan to lead the van, I think you won't need much help. You are a great comfort, Demi, and I'll call on you in all emergencies, for you are an honest boy. And don't forget that you owe much to your mother and your sisters and your aunts, continued Nan. I do like men who come out frankly and own that they are not gods. How can we think so when such awful mistakes are being made all the time by these great creatures? See them sick as I do, then you know them. Don't hit us when we're down. Be merciful and set us up to bless and believe in you evermore, pleaded Demi from behind the bars. We'll be kind to you if you would be just to us. I don't say generous, only just. I went to a suffrage debate in legislature last winter, and all the feeble, vulgar twaddle, and of all, the feeble, vulgar twaddle I ever heard, that was the worst, and those men were our representatives. I blushed for them and the wives and the mothers. I wanted an intelligent man to represent me, if I can't do it myself, not a fool. Nana's on the stump. Now we shall catch it, cried Tom, putting up an umbrella to shield his unhappy head. For Nan's earnest voice was audible, and her indignant eye happened to rest on him as she spoke. Go on, I'll take notes and put in great applause liberally, added Demi, producing his ball book and pencil with his Jenkins air. Daisy pinched his nose through the bars, and the meeting was rather tumultuous for a moment. For Emil called, Avast, avast! Here's a squall to windward. Tom applauded wildly. Dan looked up, as if the prospect of a fight, even with words, pleased him, and Nat went to support Demi, as his position seemed to be a good one at this crisis. When everybody laughed and talked at once, Bess came floating through the upper hall and looked down like an angel of peace upon the noisy group below, as she asked, with wondering eyes and smiling lips, What is it? An indignation meeting. Nan and Alice are on the rampage, and we are at the bar to be tried for our lives. Will your highness preside and judge between us? Answered Demi, as a lull at once took place, for no one rioted in the presence of the princess. I'm not wise enough. I'll sit here and listen. Please go on. And Bess took her place above them all, as cool and calm as a little statue of justice, with fan and nosegay in place of sword and scales. Now, ladies, free your minds. Only spare us till morning, for we've got a German to dance. We've got a German to dance as soon as everyone is fed. And Parnassus expects every man to do his duty. Mrs. President Giddy-Gaddy has the floor, said Demi, who liked this sort of fun better than the mild sort of flirtation which was allowed at Plumfield, for the simple reason that it could not be entirely banished and is a part of all education, or otherwise. I have only one thing to say, and it is this, began Nan soberly, though her eyes sparkled with a mixture of fun and earnestness. I want to ask every boy of you what you really think on this subject. Dan and Emil have seen the world and ought to know their own minds. Tom and Nat have had 5 examples before them for years. Demi is ours, and we are proud of him, so is Rob. Ted is our weathercock, and Dolly and George, of course, are fogies in spite of the annex, and girls at Girton going ahead of the men. Commodore, are you ready for the question? Aye, aye, Skipper. Do you believe in women's suffrage? Bless your pretty figurehead, I do, and I'll ship a crew of girls any time you say so. Aren't they worse than a press gang to carry a fella out of his moorings? Don't we all need one as pilot to steer us safe to port? And why shouldn't they share our mess afloat and ashore, since we are sure to be wrecked without 'em? Good for you, Emil. Nan will take you for first mate after that handsome speech, said Demi, as the girls applauded. And Tom glowered. Now, Dan, you love liberty so well yourself. Are you willing we should have it? All you can get, and I'll fight any man who's mean enough to say you don't deserve it. This brief and forcible reply delighted the energetic president, and she beamed upon the member from California as she said briskly, Nat wouldn't dare to say he was on the other side, even if he were, but I hope he has made up his mind to pipe for us, at least when we take the field, and not be one of those who wait till the battle is won and then beat the drums and share the glory. Mrs. Giddy-Gaddy's doubts were most effectually removed, and her sharp speech regretted as Nat looked up blushing, but with a new sort of manliness in face and manner, saying in a tone that touched them all, I should be the most ungrateful fellow alive if I did not love, honor, and serve women with all my heart and might, for to them I owe everything I am or shall ever be. Daisy clapped her hands, and Bess threw her bouquet into Nat's lap, while the other girls waved their fans, well pleased, for real feeling made his little speech eloquent. Thomas B. Bangs, come into court and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, if you can, commanded Nan with a rap to call the meeting to order. Tom shut the umbrella and, standing up, raised his hand, saying solemnly, I believe in suffrage of all kinds. I adore all women and will die for them at any moment if it will help the cause. Lively and working for it is harder and therefore more honorable. Men are always ready to die for us, but not to make our lives worth having. Cheap sentiment and bad logic. You will pass, Tom, only don't twaddle. Now, having taken the sense of the meeting, we will adjourn, as the hour for festive gymnastics has arrived. I'm glad to see that old Plum has given 6 true men to the world, and hope they will continue to be staunch to her and the principles she has taught them wherever they may go. Now, girls, don't sit in draughts, and boys, be aware of ice water when you are warm. With this characteristic close, Nan retired from office, and the girls went to enjoy one of the few rights allowed them. I did finish it. It was long as everything. Thank you, Lord. Whew, it was a good one. Okay, and chapter 6 is called Last Words. See you later. Have a lovely Tuesday. It's rainy and icky here, but it's going to be a blessed day anyway. I hope to get lots of stitching done. I won't be live today as it's Tuesday, but I'll be back live Wednesday and Friday, live at 5. Saturday and Sunday, live at 3. Be sweet. Don't be ugly. Much love to you all. And prayers. Bye-bye.